Good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning, Vitaly. I hope I didn't pronounce your name wrongly. Is it the right?
No, it's fine. Yeah, like
Right.
like Italy with V. Yeah.
Right. Okay. So, it's very interesting that I met you from LinkedIn, but actually we have a common friend from the Invest Hong Kong. Start me up, CY Lu, that they actually helped you to set up your company in Hong Kong. So I really love your business model because I'm a car lover. I drive every day, at least 2 to 3 times a day, and I always have trouble finding car parks. Okay, I got like 6 tickets in last 2 months already. I'm paying a lot of tax.
Yeah, that's
Violates
crazy.
lots of laws. Okay, sorry about that. Yeah, but the ideas that you have is lovely, and this is not the first time I heard it, but it's lots of companies tried it to get it work in Hong Kong, but not many of them successfully applied it, and some of them has left the market already too. So, Vitaly, can you give us some introduction to about yourself, where you come from, and why you choose Hong Kong, and why Hong Kong market fit into the business model for you to test it out?
Sure. Yes. So basically, I was born in Russia, and more than a third of my life, I actually lived abroad. So
Yep.
I had chance to live like in South America for around 4 years, almost 4 years. Also, I was living in Geneva, which is Switzerland, and I studied my master's in Belgium, in Brussels, and now I'm in Hong Kong, second year in here. So in terms of my background, I finished bachelor in mathematics, and I had a chance to start working at Google. So I was working in Google Maps projects in Moscow, and then I switched to one a Russian American company. I headed a small IT department, and we did online platforms for some of multinational companies. But I had the dream to be entrepreneur like from quite very beginning, and I understood that I need to have some business sense, so to understand the economy, the business, some sense of the corporate industry. So then I switched to finance. So I finished masters in finance, and I was working in corporate and investment banking. The last bank I was working is Sumitomo Mitsui, which is top second bank in Japan, and there I covered like international car manufacturing business, mainly Japan, China, Korea, Germany, and also some TMT sector and traditional. There I met actually my co-founder, and the starting point of that was that he came back from the trip with his family, and complained like everything was good except the parking. Like I downloaded 3 different apps and couldn't find parking. So he was like, why there is no Uber or Airbnb for parking? And back that time, I wanted to go into the entrepreneurship, and I said like, okay, let's do it. Why not? So that's how it started. Then I came to visit. Then basically we were looking where to launch, right? So I visited my friend in Hong Kong. He was working in IT in here. Basically, I ordered the phone to pick up. It's tax-free, so it was the cheapest. Yeah. And he introduced me to CY from Invest Hong Kong, and CY said like, yeah, Hong Kong is a good place with a good government support, and we can help you to start your business. And for us, definitely it's very essential, so we have a government support, not to be kicked out like Uber or Airbnb in several countries, including Hong Kong. So yeah, that's why like it was very essential for us. And then we got into the Science Park program, so for 2 years with the grant, and now I'm sitting in here, and we have the R&D office over here. So that's basically briefly the way how it started and ended up in Hong Kong.
Excellent. Okay, why don't you tell us more about your company? I think you have a PowerPoint that you can show it to us and give us some briefing on what your company does, right?
Yeah, sounds good. Let me just share the few slides. So our company name is UrbanChay Group. Basically, we focus on smart city solutions with a sharing economy approach, and currently 100% focus we have in smart parking solution called ParkingBnb.
Okay.
So yeah, we are based in Hong Kong and recently opened a company in UK to expand and look at ourselves as a global solution. So yeah, Hong Kong is a great place to start, definitely. So I will first mention the problems, which are pretty obvious for every driver. Yeah, so statistically, more than 30% of traffic caused by drivers searching for parking in any big cities. It takes 20 minutes on average to find parking space, and definitely it costs fuel consumption, air pollution, illegal parking, which is more than 50% in Hong Kong, and big tickets every month people pay, and basically a lot of stress because you always need to bear in mind, oh, where is the parking space? I need to find it in any crowded place. So at the same time, there are parking owners, property owners that also have problems with high costs for parking management. Like around the world, the industry is pretty monopolistic. There are big players, and the innovation in the parking industry is not going that fast due to this. So parking industry is still pretty outdated, and a lot of manual work still involved in managing car parks. So then the question is why there is no Uber or Airbnb for parking, and like this I mentioned the top players. Basically the answer is that since like 2006 the companies are focusing on parking booking model. So basically you take Airbnb and try to do it for parking. But the problem is, imagine you pre-book a parking space, then you're stuck in the traffic. Something happened, you change your mind, so you're not going to make it on time or whether not going to arrive. Then you whether prepaid already for parking or going to have a fine for violating the booking rules. At the same time, any parking booking is a limited time. So you whether need to repark after time finished or somehow extended the time through the app. At the same time, the parking owner cannot realize parking space if the driver not arriving or didn't arrive on time. So all these problems we were looking when we were analyzing the market, and we analyzed around 400 companies around the world. So what we are doing in this case, our model is real-time parking occupancy control. So we know amount of parking spaces online in car parks around the city, and then just navigate drivers to those closest and cheapest parking lots with enough spaces upon arrival. So we measure the occupancy and understand the location of the driver. So, and this is the way how to guarantee parking both for drivers and parking owners. You park for how long you want, no limitation in this case, and pay with the flexibility for your parking. And basically we did the modeling, and our model gave the result that more than 40% profit is coming with our model for the property owners comparing to the parking booking. So yeah, so for this solution we have a mobile app called ParkingBnb. where like in 1-2 clicks you can find parking instead of 20 minutes drive on average. So what you do is you just speak or type your destination, then we automatically suggest you the closest and cheapest parking with enough spaces upon your arrival, and then navigate you there, seeing how many spaces left and where are you. So in case if the car park is full and we see it in advance, so we re-navigate you automatically to the closest car park nearby. So our purpose is to guarantee you a parking space.
Yep.
So in the app, we have like more than 1,000 car parks around Hong Kong, Island, Kowloon, New Territories, and also started a bit of expansion in London.
Sure.
So basically, the question is, how do we control occupancy? So one data we get like from transport department of any city we are working with, then from the property owners we negotiate, they can share the data, and the occupancy is included in the coefficient of optimal car park. So they have a motivation to share this data with us. And the latest is we have our own smart cameras built by us from scratch. So made in Hong Kong in Science Park. The camera can recognize the car plate, recognize the car type, and the camera can count cars in and out, giving the real-time occupancy control. So that's the uniqueness about this camera. It's basically it has onboard processing, so there is a computer inside that manages all the process and connected to the cloud. So yeah, a part of the car plate recognition at the entrance and exit, the cameras also can be installed inside the car park and basically track per space occupancy and have different functions like zonal pricing, which is dividing car park to zones and have different price. For example, if the parking space is near the entrance, then you don't need to walk a lot, then it's convenient, but it's gonna be more pricey than the parking space at the end of the car park. Then can do different like booking of EV charging space, for example, sub-rental, traffic management, advertising, and other different functions we can provide to property owners in order to maximize their profit and give the best experience for drivers. So property owners can cut costs for the cashier, for security guards, for CCTV companies, and so on and so forth. So yeah, we make it in Hong Kong Science Park, as I said. So we have like designing, 3D printing, testing, installation. I can briefly show our like office maybe from the camera.
Yeah.
So yeah, here's our office. Like many people working from home, of course. Now it's the virus. Yep. So we have like some prototypes of the camera. And you can see like here is the logo ParkingBnb. So we have our assembling point. We have all the details to assemble the cameras, the prototypes. We have the 3D printer, which now facilitate some of the details for fixing the camera on the sailing. And basically here we do everything independently. So in case if there is a virus or some problem with our suppliers, we are pretty self-sufficient. Of course, like we are startup for now, so and we are scaling step by step. Later we will put more of the hardware part on the third parties and remain mostly as a software companies, not to bear costs and capital expenditures on the company side. So we do the solution universal, so any third party can install it themselves with ease. So yeah, all the devices managed from cloud. We have a parking management platform available on desktop, on the phone. So for example, we tell our clients, if you are sad or bored at home, you can open this phone and see how your car park is doing. So yeah, these kind of things. What else? So we also have, this is kind of Airbnb module in the solution. So for example, if you drive to work from 9 a.m. to 6 p.m. and your parking space is free, you can list it in our app and start renting.
Wow, okay. Well, with your technology, it seems like, I don't have to worry about my car, and I can easily get access to the car park. I can easily find my car, especially when I park in a huge car park. I always have problem when I park in Taikuchen. That area, they have a huge car park there. I always lost my direction, and I have to use my. Luckily, I have a Tesla apps. I can horn my car to hear where the car is. But with your technology, I do not have to worry about this anymore. But first of all, when you mention your name, ParkingBnb, ParkingBnb means that we can actually do the same model as Airbnb. That we can rent out our owned car park to others as an hourly car park area to earn some money as well, right?
Yeah.
I think it's a great business because as you know, some of the area in Hong Kong, they charge around $40 per hour for car park.
Yeah.
Compared to other countries, like 10 times of other countries doing in Hong Kong.
Exactly.
Yeah. So tell us about how you do it. I mean, how can your system, your whole infrastructure can apply this business model?
Sure. Yes, this function we introduced recently and started to deploy step by step. So here, basically, as a individual owner of the parking space, or if you rent it in a residential property, you can list your parking space with all the details provided into the app, and it goes for our verification. So we see the application, if it's valid. We can communicate with the owner if we need any other data. In this case, the challenge is to get the access from property owners if your parking space is in residential property. If you are owner of the house or like bungalow or whatever, and it's your car park, then basically there are no problems. You do whatever you want, right? You can list it and we can help you to monetize it. In case of the residential property, of course, we need to receive the permission from a property owner to have the access to the car park. Basically, when we install the cameras for car plate recognition at the entrance exit, this function already can be available for the individual owners. So because then we control the access to the car park, and through our app we provide the secure approach for the property owners. So we have a verification in case if some random person wants to park in your space. So the question is here, whether this person can steal something or damage a property. So we need to do the verification in this case. So for example, in the UK is a little bit easier for us to do this business model because there are much more private houses and separate properties. In Hong Kong, it's a bit more challenge, but in Hong Kong, the property market is pretty concentrated. There are big four companies that control a big portion of commercial properties, and there are small players that basically following the big players. So step by step, we're introducing this solution in Hong Kong. Yeah. So what also the problem for the drivers in Hong Kong and other big cities, is basically accessing the car park, big car parks within the shopping malls. And currently the system, when the shops or shopping mall offer like to, for example, pay 200 Hong Kong dollars and get 1 hour of free parking. The problem here, you need to go to shops, collect the tickets, then go to customer service, then queue up in there. Then basically they need to count everything, like apply to your octopus or credit card, or give you a ticket, which you need to give to the guard. So it's pretty complicated process. It takes time and mess if you lose one of the tickets receipts in the shop. So what we're now introducing for 2 of our clients is basically QR code system. When on a cashier using our app, you just scan the QR code, and then the discount applies automatically. So you don't need to go to customer service. You just like go to the car park and drive out, and the discount proceeds automatically after you leave the car park, after the car plate recognition. So, and with this system, of course, we also parallelly supply the drivers from our app to the shopping malls as part of the cooperation opportunity. So, yeah. Briefly about why we have the opportunity for success. So we have the mobile app available in English and Kondowa. So we have a model to guarantee parking. We have international clients with properties in different countries. So these countries are our also targets for expansion. We have our own infrastructure, the software, the mobile app, the cameras, all done by us from scratch. It's IP protected, and we have like a strong advisory board from international experience. So yeah, that was about parking, but we building actually ecosystem connecting the end users, which are drivers, and our clients, which are property owners, with third-party providers. So EV charging companies, car rental services, logistics. And to say briefly about it, so now we connecting with 2 EV charging company, one in Hong Kong and one in London. So this is our interface for EV charging. Using our cameras, basically we can track unauthorized parking. So if the car came not for charging, just to allocate parking, we will notify the security, and they will come and ask for repark or can issue a fine. We also can input the speakers and say from speakers like, please car plate number blah blah blah. Yeah, move your car because it's for charging. We can see the occupancy of charging spaces, so you understand in advance whether this car park has free spaces for you to charge, and track different statistics. For the car services, also we now connecting with car washing providers and talking with several car fixing companies also, where you can pre-book like car washing, for example, and communicate with the washing team or within our chat inside the app. And then we talking with our partner also. They do the car rental, so you can also pre-book through our system a car and pay through our app. This functionality we're now building. And basically in terms of logistics, we can supply the secure system based on our cameras, so identify the flow of cars to avoid any illegal access and any problems with lost goods.
Right, Victory is a very fruitful way to understand what your company does, because it's not just parking. We are talking about how to build an ecosystem that's connected to all the car owners, car park owners, even the one you don't have a car can enjoy the service with your parking and rental. I believe there's a lot of potential. Previously, we discussed a bit about the insurance as well, because you also can provide the telematics information of the vehicle drivers or the condition of the car from your cameras as well. So I do believe your model works really well, or not only for parking. So it is more like when I always discuss about what Uber does. It doesn't do taxi business actually. They're actually making the taxi disappear eventually.
Exactly, yeah, disrupting.
Yeah. Any more in-depth concept that you want to tell us today about your business?
Yes, basically, so the experience of companies like Uber, Airbnb, they show that they are struggling with generating the profit. And while the business is kind of hot and investors like it, they need money and they need the proof of the business that is working in terms of profitability. So the companies realize that when they rely on one source of revenue, it can be not that efficient as they planned before. So all the companies are now switching to diversification of the revenue stream. That's why Uber started accept the taxi. They started to do like Uber Work, Uber Eats, then other facilities with the flying taxi and other stuff, and carpooling, car sharing. They also doing right now. At the same time, Airbnb, they have booking of the flats, different other property types, luxury booking, and now even traveling, where you can plan your travel. So they started to move much faster to be profitable, and basically we absorbed this experience, and that's why we also introduce many opportunities to earn money in order to be like as soon as possible profitable. Especially currently now is a big challenge to raise funds during the virus. So the sooner you are able to be self-sustainable, the less you are depending on funding and basically can develop on your own. So yeah, that's why we like looking for different revenue streams and connecting other players on our platform, and aiming to build kind of super app for drivers. When you're driving, you just open one app. You don't need to bother with anything, with parking search, with fueling search, with payment with the cards, or going to cashier, or like where do you need to wash your car, how many spaces, do you have a charger when you arrive. So all this stress on the road, it's affecting drivers every day in an unhealthy way. So our main purpose is to make the life of drivers easier, because like out of 12 people in our company, like only 10 of them are not driving actually. So yeah, we all understand what we are doing and why we are doing, because we face the same problems, and that's what we are step by step trying to deliver from our company. Yeah.
Right. Okay. Well, it's been a very fruitful way to look into how startups are changing from one direction of single income to broader API-based connected community.
Exactly.
Well, okay. So good luck to your fundraising for your next round, and thank you for your time aboard to our show. So let's talk again when you have something new invented and come to our show again. All right?
Sure. Yeah, that would be great.
Okay.
Thank you very much for your time.
Yep. Thank you for your time too. Goodbye.
Goodbye.
試諗下，你嘅健康親子生活只需要一個網站就可以搞掂，係幾正嘅事。正式同你介紹 So Healthy 健康親子台。對於父母，只要有 Facebook 就可以為你嘅仔女揾到教練或者導師。除此之外，父母仲可以透過我哋嘅網站了解更加多嘅育兒資訊同埋知識，令你成為更優秀嘅父母。我哋都歡迎父母投稿成為父母 blogger，分享自己嘅育兒經驗，賺多啲私己錢。你仲可以透過我哋嘅網站，利用區域嚟搜尋資料，全港18區樣樣都有㗎。想了解更加多，就記得 like 我哋 So Healthy 健康親子台啦。